Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another Live and Leash show. And we're delighted to be joined by the proudest and I dare say the happiest mother and daughter in the whole country, to Bernie and to Nicole Turner. Welcome to our new studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bernie, you first, okay? When Nicole won the silver medal in Tokyo, how were you feeling?
Pure relief. It was pure. Look at her laughing. It was pure relief because we were just going into the competition. Elizabeth Marks, who's a USA swimmer, had come out of the S7 class and come into the S6 class. And Nicole going into the final, she could have come anywhere from second to fifth. So we just wanted a medal. I know that's awful to say, but we just wanted her to medal after all the hard work.
After all the hard work.
Yeah.
Because I was reading that you were predicting the Chinese swimmer would win gold.
Yeah.
And you reckon the silver and bronze were up for grabs.
Yeah, for Nicole, yeah. And I did think that Ellie Robinson, the GB swimmer, she could have come up and could have bet Nicole as well. Because she's done it before where she's not swam as fast in her heats and then pulled it out in the final. But I think Nicole had it in her that she was going to bet her.
Absolutely. But speaking of Ellie Robinson, she's one of your best pals, isn't she?
She is, yeah. Me and Ellie I started out on the international stage in 2015, and so did Ellie. And then we went to Rio together in 2016, Europeans 2018, Worlds 2019, and then finished off in Tokyo 2020.
And Tokyo was funny because before Ellie medalled and you finished fifth, and now it was reversed.
Yeah, that's what people say, and I think like Ellie's swam exceptional in Rio, and I think going into Tokyo, like, it was like the aim since World Championships has always been to beat Ellie. Like, it's the first time I've ever bet her in the past 6 years we've been competing against each other. But I think the aim was to beat her, but there was a part of me that did feel a bit sorry for her. Like, it would have been nice if she would have got on the podium, especially now that it was her last games and she was finishing up. So it was quite hard. And even after my race, I was doing an interview with Channel 4, and she was doing an interview beside me with someone else, and she just broke down in tears, and that was quite hard for me to see. But I suppose that's the reality of sport. There is highs and lows for everyone.
Highs and lows, absolutely. You can't win them all.
Exactly.
You can't win them all. Yeah, you were sorely tempted to give her a hug, weren't you?
Absolutely. And I mean, with COVID and whatever, we're not meant to be giving hugs. But yeah, no, like, it does sport. I know, like, in the water, they are your biggest rivals, and you do want to do everything you can to beat them. But the amount of friendships that are created outside of the sport is amazing.
Absolutely. So people will see the pictures, and your mother knows this only too well. People will watch the pictures of you medaling, right? And they go, right. They don't realise the work that's gone into it.
That's the thing I've said that in a good few interviews in the past 3-4 weeks. Not at all. Like, some people who wouldn't really know about the sport, they just think we rock up, swim, win a medal and get out there. Not at all. Like, I've been training for Tokyo for the past 5 years. Lockdown was pretty hard because we were out of the pool for 2.5 months. But even the amount of coaching that goes into it, like, my coach, because of COVID, we stopped swimming with our club, so my coach gave up all his time and came in and coached us 6 days a week, and then my mum drives me up and down to the pool. So everyone does play a part into a big job.
Now, when you say the pool, Bernie, of course, Nicole means the National Aquatic Centre.
In
So
Town, yeah.
Yeah, so it's an hour and 10 minutes, door to door.
Yeah.
And that's every day.
Every day except Sunday, and sometimes twice on a Saturday.
It's a huge, huge commitment.
It is, but it's just something that we decided we were going to do. I think it was back in 2017 when she'd done so well in Rio, and it was the beginning of 2017, and she'd been swimming with Leash Marlins, and although it was very good in Port Leash, they just didn't have the hours, and she needed more hours. And then her national coach, Dave Malone, was the swimming coach in the NAC club. So they asked us, would we go to Dublin? And I'd never, ever drove on the M50. I never really drove on the N7, never mind the M50. I just drove from Portarlington to Tullamore, Portarlington to Portlaoise, and I'd never gone past that distance. And then I was asked to drive to Dublin. Yeah, so you're looking at me, and that's what I was like.
Yeah, no, because like Nicole, is your baby a good driver?
I am now, oh my word. And
She
do you
used
know
to be
what?
petrified,
I
and she
used to
has
be
the biggest
petrified.
road rage now you could ever see.
Yeah, now I'm one of them that's like, come on, move. What you doing? We're in 120 here, and you're doing 100. And I'm like, move. Yeah.
But I mean, speaking of commitment, I mean, you, Nicole, you made the decision. It's swimming, not school. You decided not to study for the Leaving Cert.
Yeah, I suppose. So, as my mum said, when I moved up to the NAC in 2017, I was nearly finishing my second year of secondary school in Portarlington. And when I moved up, so from second year until the end of transition year, because my normal school day was 9 to 4, but I had to be in Dublin for 5 o'clock at the very latest. So my school agreed.
This is 5 in the evening.
Yeah, not in the morning. My school agreed from second year to the end of transition year that I could miss the last class of the day. So that meant I'd finish at 3:20 and I'd get up to Dublin for 4:30. But then after transition year, they were just like, as much of a benefit for me, I'd find it very hard at the start to balance school and swimming at the same time with the amount of work I was piled on me. But another reason was I couldn't finish school early anymore. So if I was finishing school at 4 o'clock, I wouldn't get to the NAC until 5:20. So I just wouldn't.
You know, because of traffic.
I just wouldn't get I just wouldn't have got anything out of it. And then I did decide to take a year out, but then with the whole pandemic and the games being postponed, it turned into 2. So I'm actually doing a PLC at the minute. I didn't go back to school, but I have gone back to education in some way, shape or form.
And are you doing the PLC in sports management?
Yeah.
No surprise there. No surprise. And speaking of the course you're doing now, at the end of it, okay, because you're an elite athlete, and you're looking around and you have to go up to the National Aquatic Centre, surely there should be a similar facility further down the south of the country. It might make it easier for fellow. Once you're retired, I mean, you're going to be retired, you'll have the medal, you'll always have the medal. But in a sense, do you want to give back? Do you want to give advice as to helping the next generation coming through and looking at the scene and going, well, we're missing this and we're missing that and we need to do this? Like, I mean, if you had a magic wand in the morning, Nicole, what would you do to make the life you've had to lead a little bit easier, and for the next generation that little bit easier again?
Absolutely, I think it does play a part. Like even my swimming coach Dave Malone, he's a Paralympic champion from Sydney 2000, and then he's gone on to coach Paralympians, and he coaches his own club now, and he's a performance director. So he was in sport and then went through a sporting career as well. But I think to make it a bit easier on myself and my mum, a 50-metre pool there is one in UL, so I can't complain. I'm bang in the middle of the two. But a 50-metre pool a bit closer to home, I wouldn't be giving out.
So if there's any millionaires out there that would like, the Lismard building, maybe put a 50-metre pool there. You could call it the Nicole Turner pool.
Absolutely.
Have it in her legacy.
Absolutely. A pool and then the Gary O'Reilly Arena beside it.
Yeah, velodrome, I do think they need a velodrome. There's not one, is there? we did discuss this. Our family
You're
did.
nothing to do with that.
I know I'm not, but if I was a politician or a TD, I'd be, canvassing for a velodrome in Ireland so that the cyclists don't have to leave the country to go and practice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and speaking of sports and the choice of sports, be it cycling, be it swimming, ladies, why swimming?
I suppose back when I was young, just because I had a disability, Mum and Dad never wanted to treat me any different. So they threw me in at everything, like swimming, athletics, GAA even for a while. But then I think I always found a love for swimming more than anything else, and even from a very young age, I always prioritised the swimming over the athletics or the football. And then I just seemed to get good at it, so that's when I stuck around to the swimming and gave up everything else.
Gave up everything else. Yeah, and it's worked out.
It has, yeah.
It's worked out. So you can be, if you don't mind me putting it this way, you can be a small person from a small county and you can do it on the global stage.
That's exactly it. Yeah, like look at myself and Gary. The Irish team, they got 5 gold, 2 silver, and a bronze, and out of the 8 medals, 2 of them were from Laois.
From Laois. But speaking of the Laois thing,
Here we
and
go.
Gary Hinch, Bernie, we'll ask Bernie about this. Because, of course, Bernie, you were born and raised in Rochdale,
Yeah.
but your parents are
Mum.
from Burr and from Navan.
Yeah.
And now you're back on the border. It's a bit like Manchester United and Leeds United. It's like you're on a border, and your Nicole has been very diplomatic when asked, is she from Offaly and Laois? What's your take on it? Because at the celebrations, and it was great to see it. There were a lot of family members wearing Offaly jerseys.
I know that's that were okay on, yeah, because they'd be big Offaly fans. I should say after the under-20s winning the All Ireland, and my mum being from Burr. But when we bought the house, and this is the God's honest truth, 21 years ago, we were told Portarlington, County Laois, and that was our address. And then it was only, I think it were a few years later that my next door neighbour put an Offaly flag up, and I was like, Breda, what's that flag? She goes, but we're Offaly. And I said, no, we're Laois. She goes, no, the postal address is a Laois, because if it goes through Tullamore, it takes 4 days for the post to get to our house, but if it goes to Portarlington, it only takes a day. And we're 300 metres from the River Barrow, and that's where we're 300 metres from that border. So, do you know what though? And we've said, you both can have it.
Yes.
We can be Laois and Offaly, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're brothers, really. Brothers in arms. Or
Exactly.
in this case, sisters in arms.
Yeah.
Sisters in arms. And speaking of Ellies, there's another Ellie that you really, really do look up to, Nicole.
Yeah, to be fair to them, the two of them, Ellie Simmons is retired now as well. Yeah, so looking back, I've looked up to Ellie since Beijing 2008 when I was a young 6-year-old girl watching the Paralympic Games. And Ellie was 13 and she went on to win her Paralympic gold medal at her first Paralympics. And then I got to meet Ellie in 2009 at the World Dwarf Games, and ever since then I looked up to her, and then in 2015 I started competing against her.
Like, was that a pinch me moment?
It was very strange actually, because like I think I looked up to her for so many years, and then I was on a block beside her and I was kind of like, I looked up to her and now I'm competing against her. Like, I never really thought it'd happen.
Absolutely. And looking forward, you've the World Championships next year.
We do. So because of this whole coronavirus situation we're in, we actually have 2 sets of World Championships rather than one. We've one next year, one the year after, and then the Paris is the year after.
So you've more medals to aim for.
Yeah, I suppose so. A bit of a break now though before I hit any more water.
Yeah, because you were saying off camera, the two of you, like, you're being bombarded with phone calls.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Even today I got, like, I appreciate the support so much, but even today I got carried in the post and I've no clue who it's off.
She did.
Really?
So
Honest
thank
to
you
God.
to whoever that.
Thank
From
you to-
Tullamore,
They're from
couple in
Tullamore. I honestly haven't a clue who they are.
And you could
but
tell by the writing that it was an elderly couple, you know. I don't mean that in a
No,
derogatory way,
no.
but you could tell it was an elderly couple. And I said, and I thought, oh, how sweet is this? And she's got the cards coming, Paralympian medalist Nicole Turner.
there's not even an address
And
on it
there's not an
anymore.
address on it, and it's coming to
And
our
you don't
house.
need an address anymore.
I think you know it by all the bunting outside our house.
Yeah. But it is sweet. It is sweet.
It is, it's lovely.
Oh, it is, and I know, like, it is quite hectic at the minute, but I think, and that was something I realised after Rio as well, like, it'll be hectic for another couple of weeks, but then it dies down, and once it does die down, you look back on it and you miss it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to appreciate it while I have it.
But we must have a big shout out for Eddie Brett. Eddie Brett is in Portarlington, and he was a young boy that was in a wheelchair that was at the homecoming in the rugby club. And Nicole went over and he held her medal, and he said to his mum that he was going to go in school the next day and said that he'd held Nicole Turner's silver medal and that was going to be him. He was going to be a Paralympian.
Wow.
And he was gonna go on and win a medal for Ireland when he got older.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it was powerful.
That's powerful.
And with the photograph and everything over with him, and I just thought, we didn't even know, and I put the photo up on Facebook, and Lisa, his mum, who doesn't know me, privately messaged me and thanked me for putting the picture up. And I said, no, because I said it was my favourite photo of the homecoming, was this young boy in his wheelchair, just in awe of Nicole's medal. And she said he came home buzzing, and he said, that will be him. He will be whatever he does it in, but he'll be getting a medal for Ireland. And I thought that's when it's worth the while.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment. But Nicole, there was another beautiful moment. You got to hug your first coach at the welcome home celebration.
That was very sweet. So Emer, I started out, so I have two older brothers at home. Kieran's 21 and Daniel's nearly 26. And when we all started swimming lessons together, actually in the Heritage in Kilnard. Then we moved on to Portarlington Leisure Centre, and then I wasn't old enough at the time, but my two brothers were old enough to start with Piranha Swim Club. And Emer was the swim coach then. And because I wasn't old enough and I was just a young toddler, Emer just threw me in the baby pool and let me have a bit of fun while everyone was swimming. But then I was old enough and mature enough to get involved in the club. And I was with Piranha Swim Club for about 6 or 7 years before then the swimming the swimming got intense after that. But yeah, no, it was lovely, because especially these sort of games, like Mum and Dad didn't even get to come over and see me, so coming home to that reception and seeing the ones that have been there from the start, like, it's lovely. Because I was even saying to my friends, like, it's so lovely seeing everyone, but it's extra special seeing the people who've been with you from the start and know you for the real person you are. So it was nice coming back to and being welcomed by Emer.
Absolutely. Now, a little birdie was telling me that you took the packing list of the youngest member of the Irish squad heading to Tokyo to figure out what to take with you. Is that right, Roisin?
Oh, I did. Roisin. So I was the youngest in Rio, and I was actually only the second youngest in Tokyo. But Roisin was the youngest, and Roisin's another swimmer herself. And mine and Roisin's first competition together. We went away. So after when coronavirus started settling, us as a team, we went to Fuerteventura for 10 days in April just gone, just because the staff just wanted us to get away together, like it's been so long, and to get a bit of training done in the sun as well. And that was Roisin's first trip away with us, and then she came to Europeans, and then she qualified for Tokyo at Europeans. And honestly, she's one of my best friends. Like, I've made a friend for life, and her, like, I've only known her the past 5-6 months. But it feels like I've known her my whole life. She's such a lovely girl.
And super organised.
Oh,
I've heard.
There was one side of the room that was an absolute mess that was mine, and then there was Roisin's side of the
Are you surprised, Bertie?
Not at all.
No.
That's another. I clean her room all the time. Oh, look at her.
Oh!
She knows.
I'm not going to talk because I'm going to bring my English accent out.
This is it.
Because she knows I'm a bit OCD, so as soon as she left, I was like sorting the drawers and everything out, and then
But how, like, downtime, like when everything settles and you're away from the pool and you're not studying, like, for you, like, what's the perfect weekend? Like, do you sit on the sofa and watch telly?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I think, especially nowadays, like, even, I was saying to my friends last night, I went for food with two of my friends last night, and it was just nice that I just got to speak to them about anything. Like, it was no how was Tokyo, it was no, oh, you won a medal. It was two real friends. We got a bit of food and we had a big catch up. But I think downtime, like, I just think downtime is really important as well. Like, I can't be going out every night doing what I want to do and then be wrecked every single day. So it does come, a lot of sleep does come in downtime, and then chilling on the sofa and watching TV.
Chilling.
And we've
Watching
got 3
sports.
dogs. So she walks the dogs. We've got 3 dogs. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
Do you go out to Derry Ounce?
I haven't actually been out to Derry Ounce in
We've
months.
lived.
Well, I have.
Do you know,
I've
I've
been out
lived
once.
I've lived in Portarlington, Gary Hinch, for 21 years, yeah. And I only went to Derry Ounce for the first time this year. Because the lads go on, they swim in the lake and everything. And I heard about this Costa del, what do they call it? Costa del Port, Costa del Sol. And I said, where is it? And then when I went, I thought, wow. And I did the fairy trail and everything. I was like a kid.
It's lovely there.
Yeah.
It's lovely there. I'm sure you'll get a guided tour, Nicole. I'm sure they'll organise something for you.
Stop.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, ladies, thanks for coming in this evening.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
Thanks for coming
It's been
in.
lovely.
And thanks to our wonderful producers, to Matt Kerry and to Nathan Hayes. Thanks for everything. And to our wonderful viewers, stay well, stay safe. Stay tuned. We'll have more great live and leash programs coming up all this autumn and winter. Bye for now.